safe.
Sorry?
I said be safe.
Oh, you too, brother.
Thanks.
Up. Rob, you got me now. Gary, Chris, I see you guys. Let's go ahead and get those windows rolled up for me, gentlemen. Make sure that climate control setting's nice and cold for yourselves. I know Star just mentioned that to you as well. Let's go ahead and get ourselves into manual mode there, gentlemen. Foot onto the brake, lift up onto the drive tab, press the M for manual mode. So once again, that autocross is a really good way to kind of feel the car out in a really safe location, right? Understanding the amount of brake pressure you need for those specific corners, and more importantly, working on that balance for those turns as well. Like I mentioned to each one of you inside your cars, it's always that steady, controlled brake release simultaneously as you're turning in for those corners. Now, when we start to pick up our rate of speed, kind of take a look at my brake lights from time to time, right? If you see me under the brakes in the middle of a turn, it's very minimal brake pressure. That's the balance. All right, fellas, Rob, Gary, Chris, let's go ahead and start the taxi out to the track. Gary and Chris, once we enter these cones, go through the cones rather, let's start to develop the track spacing, 6 to 7 car lengths between suited drivers, please. Let's get ourselves selected into 4th gear, gentlemen, 4th gear. Brakes are at the brake cone. We're going to begin to slow the car. So always try to get into the habit of giving yourself at least 1 second of coasting and then apply the brakes with a nice consistent brake pressure. Nose of the bumper right in the middle of the black path. Now right there, add more steering input right, Rob. There you go. Now the driver's side tire is in the middle of the black path. But those black patches, leave them in your peripheral vision. 4th gear, gentlemen. As you come off this curb, come off the gas, turn the car left, and we're going to brake on top of that curb. Now, you see that black line? Driver's side tires right in the middle. There you go. Yeah, again, just leave it in your peripheral. Now, your vision's left here coming through the S's. When we come out of the S's, brakes are at the brake cone. See that white near apex cone? Third gear at the cone, but follow the curve to the left, up to the middle. See that light brake pressure? Let the car coast, rotate down, and then we can accelerate upon exit. Remember, there's no increasing speed in the middle of a turn. Fourth gear at the bottom of the hill, steering wheel straight at the top. Now leave this blue cone in your peripheral vision. Start to look through the corner. See the top of that red brake cone? It's a really good reference point to start to point the car towards. Vision to the right-hand side here for turn 5A. Onto the apex from cone to cone. Unwind to the left. Firm brakes third gear as we enter 5B. 5B, you're just going to be required to add a little bit more steering input. Fourth gear, gentlemen, fourth gear. Now coming into turn 6, brakes are at the brake cone. Get a reference point to where your blue turn-in cone is, but again, leave it in your peripheral, start to look through the corner, so you have that understanding of where you need to bring the car to. We need to be as nice and smooth on the steering input as we start traveling faster. Let's go ahead and squeeze down there, Rob. Let's squeeze down. We're going to build your first couple laps here. Firm brakes are at the 2. Now hold it. Third gear. Slow release. Balance coming through here. There you go. Let it coast. Now start to squeeze down. Vision's left here for turn 2. I didn't think you were going to come up so quick. Firm brakes at the brake cone. Nice and firm. Hold it. Let's downshift and that slow release. Balance coming through here. There you go. Add more steering input. Now squeeze down upon exit. Fourth gear. Just plan your exit a little bit sooner there, Rob, so you can plan your unwind, right? You held that steering input a little bit too tight. Vision is left here, coming through the S's. Firm brake, follow the curve to the left, up to the middle. Now start to scan for your apex cone. Patience on the throttle. Good, steering wheel straight, right at the top of the hill. Slowly releasing your throttle input through this left sweeping turn, and then firm brakes at the cone. Vision's right here, 5A. Good, little acceleration out to the left. Firm brakes third gear, and a little more steering input right for 5B. Patience on the gas, patience. There we go, good correction. Fourth gear. Brakes are at the cone, scanning left. Balance through here, Rob. Alright, Rob, let's go ahead and slow that speed, buddy. I got 2 more laps for you. We need to get a little bit further of a spacing from the group ahead of us. Let's go ahead and slow that speed. Right-hand side of the track there, Gary and Chris. Right-hand side of the track. All right, Rob, we're going to be taking off out of here just in a second. I'm going to give you 2 laps consecutive. Let's go ahead and start to roll on here, Rob, right behind me, sir. There we go. Let's get ourselves into third gear. Gary and Chris, follow that car that's ahead of you. Gary and Chris, I want you to drive your comfort pace. Don't feel like you need to chase this down. Drive your comfort pace. Scanning left here, coming into turn 2 there, Rob. Let's squeeze down. Fourth gear. Now remember, coming out of turn 3, plan your exit. I want you to come all the way out to that solid white line as you're accelerating coming out of the corner there, Rob. There you go, balance through, patience on the gas, now accelerate out to the white line, open up the wheel. There you go, fourth gear. Firm brakes coming in, slow release here, Rob. There you go, middle of the track, scanning left. Firm brakes up to the middle. There you go, scan out the driver's window, find that apex. Now squeeze down coming out. Beautiful, good job. Slowly release that throttle input, and then firm brakes at the cone. Vision's right here, 5A. Good job. A little more steering input right. Let's squeeze down upon exit. Patience. Okay, you're coming out a little bit too far. I want you to be mindful of that. Maybe a little brake balance coming into 5B. Brakes, third gear. We got 1 more lap here for you, Rob. Let's squeeze down to the left. Open up that wheel. Firm at the 2. Third gear, slowly release. Balance coming through. Patience. Make sure your line's proper. Now squeeze down. Patience there, Chris and Rob. Chris and Gary. Nice and patient. Balance coming through those corners. Start to scan for your exit there, Rob. Squeeze down to the white line. Beautiful. Standing left for the S's here. Here we go. Scanning left. Find the apex. Patience. Now squeeze down. My man, beautiful driving. Let's pull to the right-hand side of the track. Rob, my man, that was beautiful, brother. Good job. Gary, Chris, let's go ahead and slow that speed. Let's slow that speed. Right-hand side of the track. Hey, Rob, you're going to be to the back of the group. I want you to continue to work on your lines, brother. That was beautiful. Just get back there and continue to work on them. Good driving, my man. All right, Gary, left. Turn left for me. Rob, can you merge forward just a touch? There we go. Chris, go ahead and merge left right behind Gary. All right, gentlemen, let's get ourselves selected into third gear. Rob, once again, behind that green 206 car. Third gear for me, Gary. Now start to look through the corner. Turn 1A and 1B is one turn. Now your vision's left here for turn 2. Let's squeeze down. Fourth gear. Nice and firm. Brakes in the brake cone here, Gary. Nice and firm. Go. Let's select third gear. Balance coming through. Light brake. There we go. We're a little early. Patience, patience. Now squeeze down. Just be a little bit more patient for that blue turn-in cone here, Gary. Firm brake. Balance through. Light balance. There we go. Scanning left here for the S's. Firm brakes coming down into the bowl. Third gear at the white cone. Come up to the middle with me here, Gary. Now scan for that apex. Turn down to it. So if you're trying to turn down while you're on the gas, I want you to be a little bit more patient there, Gary. Allow that car to turn a little bit more for you before you start to accelerate coming out. Unwind to the left. Firm brakes third gear and back right for 5 feet. Go, let's unwind and accelerate. Fourth gear for me there, Gary. The brakes in the brake cone. Leave the blue in your peripheral. Turn to the left. Good. Firm brakes, third gear. We got 2 more laps here for you, Gary. Let's unwind and accelerate. Fourth gear. Firm brakes into 2. Third gear to 1. Now once again, try to treat turn 1A and 1B as one turn. No higher than the middle. Keep that steering input right. There you go. Scanning left here, turn 2. Just try to get a little bit more of that apex of turn 1B. Nice and firm. Try to open up the approach here just a little bit there, Gary. There you go. Turn it, turn it. Wow, let's slow that rate of speed down just a little bit, okay? Try not to overdrive the car. Up to the middle. Scanning left. All right, let's go ahead and slow that pace here, Gary. We got one more lap for you. We're going to get a little bit more spacing from the group ahead of us. Watch out these rocks here on the apex. Yeah, stay off that apex for me. Same thing there, Chris and Rob. Stay off that apex for turn 5A. A little bit of rocks. If we run them over, it's just going to make matters worse for us. Takes a little bit to sweep them up. So again, if we drop the wheel, let's just be mindful of it. Give ourselves a little bit more space. Again, mistakes are going to happen. We'll try to prevent those as much as possible. But again, It's all the part of the process of learning. Rob, whenever you're into the back of the group, just kind of work on your lines, man. Try not to push too hard. Just so we can continue to build that pace. We don't need to do it this first session out. Once again, we got all day of driving, so we got plenty of sessions to kind of work on any bit of speed as the day starts to move forwards. So we're just going to gather our group up, let the other group get a little bit further away there, Gary. You guys are a little faster than the other group. All good, though. So again, Gary, we got one more lap for you, sir. Beautiful driving. Looking good. This lap here, I'm going to kind of work on turn number 3 for you a little bit, right? I think you're diving down to turn 3 a little sooner. All right, Gary, let's go ahead. Squeeze down. Chris, let's go ahead and squeeze down. All right, let's go ahead and squeeze down on throttle there, Gary. 4th gear. There you go. Nice and firm brakes at the brake cone. Try to open up turn 3 just a little bit. Remember, the nose of the bumper right in the middle of the black path. Now add more steering input right. There you go. Yes, just a little bit late. 4th gear. Firm brakes, slow release. Balance, let her coast. Now accelerate out. Just a little bit more brake pressure coming in there, Gary. That's all that you needed into that chicane area. Up to the middle. Start to scan for the apex. 4th gear at the bottom, steering wheel straight at the top. All right, let's go ahead and slow that speed here, Gary. Let's slow that speed. Chris, let's slow that speed. Rob, let's slow that speed. Let's stay to the outside here coming into turn 5A. Outside lane. And we'll add a little more steering input right for 5B. And we'll start to squeeze down coming out of 5B. Slow that speed there, Rob. Outside of 5A. Outside, stay to the left. Gary, beautiful driving, my man. We're going to do a rotation over to Chris here. I love it, Gary. The only thing I want from you, just a little bit more brake pressure initially coming into the chicane area. That's where that white near apex cone is. Let me get you a little closer to me so I can kind of see you. Do you know what section I'm talking about there? Yeah, so just a little bit more brake pressure coming in. Because what's happening is you're carrying too much speed and you're running that white apex cone over. Try to open up the approach from that white near apex cone. About 3 feet or less, right? But what's happened is you get to that apex and it's pushing you too far to the left as you get to the orange apex cone. So it's kind of ruining your approach coming into the S's, right? You're approaching the S's too far to the left, so you're fighting it to the right and then back to the left. So what I want you to do is just a little bit more brake pressure and then try to open up the approach from that white near apex cone. Remember, just about 3 feet or less, okay? Nothing crazy, and that's going to give you a better apex and leave you in the middle of the track. It's a really good entry for the S's on the left-hand side. Gary, beautiful driving, brother. Keep it up, my man, okay? You're going to be falling into the back of the group. I just want you to work on your lines, right? Don't worry about your speed, just work on your lines. And I promise you, gentlemen, that is more important than any amount of speed you can possibly think of carrying. Just work on the lines, making them perfect. And then we can start to naturally increase our rate of speed as we start to understand the track a little bit more and we start feeling more comfortable in these cars that we're driving. So again, gentlemen, whoever dropped the wheel into that turn 5A, just try to stay off that apex. I mean, run the apex over, of course. But just give yourself a little bit of room. Make sure we're not dropping tires. And again, like I said just a little bit ago whenever I first mentioned it, look, it's going to happen, right? We're not perfect. But I just want you to be mindful of those mistakes just so they don't sit there and continue to happen. All right, gentlemen, this is going to be our final rotation. We're going to be rotating to Chris here. Once again there, Gary, like I said, you're going to be into the back of the group. Just work on those lines once again. And once we start rolling, I'll get Chris to merge to the left as well as Rob, and we'll start carrying on our pace. All right, Chris, let's merge to the left-hand side of the track. Rob, left-hand side of the track. Gary, once again, right behind Rob in the white 221. Third gear for me, Chris. Third gear there, Rob and Gary, as soon as we can. We're going to leave turn number 1 at B, and we're going to start to squeeze down nice and firm on throttle. All right, let's go ahead and squeeze down there, Chris. Firm brakes into brake cone here, Chris. Nice and firm. Good. Third gear. So a little progressive, right? See how you're starting to shoot up to the back of my car? There you go. Unwind and accelerate left. Fourth gear. Firm brakes into this brake cone coming into the chicane. Gary, I want you to practice that in the chicane. Middle of the track, scanning left. Firm brakes. Third gear at this white cone. Come up to the middle with me, Chris. There you go. Scan. Find that apex cone. Rotate down. Now accelerate out. So you came up a little high. Remember, only up to the middle. There you go. Firm brakes. Vision's right here. 5A. Little acceleration out to the left. Third gear. Back right for 5B. There you go. Scanning right here. Firm brakes into brake cone. Leave that blue cone in your peripheral there, Chris. Scan left. There you go, good turn, good turn. I saw a little correction. Just be mindful of that next go around. Let's unwind and accelerate. Fourth gear, brakes are at the 2. Third gear at the 1. Remember, apex here, 1A. Off to the middle, keep that steering input right. Treat it like one turn. Just be a little bit more patient on throttle. Chris, I think you might have went to the gas in the middle of that turn, so it kind of pushes you away from 1B. Brake, balance, light brake. Now let it coast, let it coast. Now accelerate out. I'm gonna... let's just brake a little bit sooner than that brake cone there, Chris. You kind of came into the ABS, coming into turn number 3. So just give yourself, remember that 1 second of pause, and then we can start to apply the brake pressure with a nice controlled amount, okay? Scan for that brake cone. Good, back right here, 5S. Now a little acceleration, push out to the left. Firm brakes, third gear, and a little more steering input right. Good, run this curve over here with me, Chris. Fourth gear. Brake, slow release, balance. All right, Chris, beautiful turn for turn 6. Let's go ahead and slow that speed. We're starting to catch up to the group in front of us here. We got one more lap here for you, Chris. Right-hand side of the track. Right behind me, sir. Good job, Chris. So whenever we come down the end of the straightaway, I'm going to slow you down in turn 3, okay? I just want you to work on that line just a little bit. Last go around, you kind of turned in really early. Again, I can see you shaking your head, so you're mindful of that, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a different approach, kind of look at it at a different way, right? Let's go ahead and start to accelerate here, Chris, Rob, and Gary. Let's get ourselves selected into third gear. We're going to have that 100% acceleration coming down the straightaway there, Chris. Remember, brake a little bit before that brake cone with a nice controlled amount of brake pressure. Let's squeeze down. So right here, Chris, I'm starting to slow you down. Brake. Now look at this black path. Nose of the bumper right in the middle. There you go. Now turn in more to the right. Turn in. There you go. Now accelerate out. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and carry on our pace. Foot brake, third gear at the white cone. Remember, come up to the middle. Let it coast a little bit longer. Now right there, start to work down. Start to work down. Yeah, you're coming up a little bit too high. Remember, only up to the middle there, Chris. Nice and firm. Slow release. Balance coming through. Third gear. There we go. Alright, fellas, let's go ahead and slow that rate of speed. We're going to start our cool down lap here. Good driving from each one of you. Definitely some of us have our strengths and weaknesses in certain little sections. So again, it's all good, right? How many times have you been on this track? Look, probably a good, almost all of you, just yesterday and today, right? So we're going to continue to get out there, just continue to work and practice on these lines. So Chris, I like the approach that you took in turn 3 on that last lap. However, do not go to the gas in the middle of the turn here, because it's pushing you away from that apex cone right there on turn 1B. And I think that's because you're giving it a little bit of acceleration in the middle of those two corners, right? Just let it coast a little bit longer so you can have that proper line. And trust me, you're going to be faster coming out of the corner. Now, coming into turn 3, leave that black line in your peripheral vision. But look through the corner, nose of the bumper right in the middle. Now right there, add more steering input right. Turn in. There you go. Now from there, you got that acceleration out to the white line, fourth gear. Run this curve over. Turn the car left, brake at the apex, and it's already lined you up properly. See that straight line? Now look, now you're going to have a better apex that's going to leave you in the middle of the track. It's a really good entry for the S's on the left-hand side. So just opening up the approach from that white near apex cone, it gives you a better apex. Third gear, Chris, you're coming up too high. Only to the middle, and then add more steering input left. There you go, look at where I'm at the apex. I have that 100% acceleration. Passenger side tires to the white line, steering wheel straight right at the top. Beautiful. As you start traveling faster, when you brake on this curb, it's pretty violent. Get into the habit of kissing it. Barely touch that curb, right? Because when you brake on that curb, you can feel the car like shimmy shake a little bit. So again, if you get into the habit of just kissing that curb, it's going to keep the car a little bit more well balanced. But again, we still need to continue to brake nice and firm on that apex curbing. Beautiful job, each one of you here for turn 6. You got that car well balanced. I can tell that you're carrying that light brake pressure simultaneously as you're turning in for those corners. But again, beautiful job. Let's go ahead and after we leave turn 7, we're going to turn on our left turn signal. And once we go through the barricades, we'll turn those turn signals off. And we'll start to get the car spacings a little bit closer together, about a car length to a car length and a half apart. Gentlemen, if you've already turned off your PDR system, it's all good, but try to leave that recording. I'm going to come up to your driver's window. I'll be writing down your lap times. So again, if we turn the PDR recording off too soon, it just erases your lap timer onto the dash of the car. However, it still will be onto your SD card. But again, I want to take a look at those times. So let's leave those PDRs recording until I come up to your driver's window, and I'll have you go ahead and select stop recording. Once we get through the gates, we can go ahead and roll down the driver passenger windows. Gentlemen, only if you want to, get some fresh air. And it is beautiful out, actually, so I don't blame you if you do. Chris, I'm going to make sure the coast is clear, and as long as there's no traffic coming our direction, we can go ahead and roll right on through the stop sign there. Same thing, Rob and Gary. Let's go ahead and roll right on through. Driver side tires to the white line to the best of our ability. And let's just hang tight just for a second. I'm going to come up to your driver's window there, gentlemen.
Hey, man,
I do apologize.
I think that was me who hit. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying. I don't know if it was or it wasn't.
Hey, man.
But I caught myself once, and I thought I heard it. It might have been me, man. Sorry.
It's all good, brother. It's all good.
I wasn't trying to like ruin everybody's
Yeah, no. It's okay.
Yeah.
120.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's not fucking right.
That's 100% right. Whenever you came out of the straightaway, I was like, holy shit, he's hauling. I gotta go.
There's more in it.
Beautiful job, brother.
There's more.
Beautiful job. Don't get out there and search for it. Let it come to you.
I'm happy.
Let it come to you. Don't get out there and search, brother.
I'm happy.
Let's go ahead and stop that PDR recording.
Okay.
And let's